friends, welcome to my YouTube channel English Biblioteca. It's me, Sujita Shivadas. Today, here I am discussing about the poet Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe was an American writer, poet, critic. He is best known for his mystical works, and he is regarded as the inventor of detective fiction. Poe and his works influenced literature as well as specialized fields such as cosmology and cryptology. His popularity doesn't give any earnings into his life, and he was fully squeezed on the jaws of financial difficulty. Even his works appears throughout popular media as music, films, and literature. The mystery writers of USA present an annual award known as the Edgar Award for distinguished works in mystery genre. He is also a central figure of American Romanticism. Then, let's have a look on his poem, The Raven. It is a long narrative poem and noted for its musically stylized language and supernatural atmosphere. It depicts a mysterious talking raven's midnight visit to a distraught lover or mourning narrator. It makes use of folk, mythological, religious, and classical references. The repetition of the phrase nevermore not only made the protagonist to be mad, but also the readers means us. Some readers may raise the question that why the narrator teasing the raven? The poem begins with the background of December midnight that signifies the mysterious moment of the poem. The poet hearing a tapping sound from his doorway, but there was nothing except darkness. Again, he noticed the sound from his window side. Now he unrolled his window. Unexpectedly, a bird, a raven, which unveiled the darkness and entered into poet's space, and owed a space on the statue above the chamber door of palace. Then it just sits there doing nothing more. This raven is the most important symbol in the poem, which explains the title. This raven is signifying the loss that the character has suffered. Through the window of realization, his loss comes flying in to face him. Here, Raven takes a seat on the statue of Pallas. Pallas means Athena, goddess of wisdom, which discloses to the reader that this feeling is literally sitting on his wisdom. It has overpowered his rational thought. Then the speaker turns to treat Raven and asks him what his name is in a very dramatic manner. The raven simply replied with nevermore. Speaker had astonished about the raven's reply, so he again asks some questions. Raven speaks to him clearly. The reply was nevermore again and again. The word nevermore signifies the speaker's deepest desire for in this life of his now strictly nevermore. That is the core of his grief and loss, the finality of never living with Lenore again. Lenore, that was his deceased wife or departed lover. After a long conversation between Raven and the speaker, the only answer from Raven was nevermore. So the speaker comes to the conclusion that the Raven only knows the word nevermore. It has learned from some unhappy master. He imagines that the master of this raven must have been through a lot of hardships, and so he probably always used the word nevermore a great deal. And from there, he believes the bird picked it up. Then the narrator dreamt about his deceased wife and enjoyed her presence in his dream. Suddenly, he woke up and realized that he lost her physical body forever. Things get more serious in the last of the poem. Speaker starts to scream to Raven and calls him a prophet. because Raven basically prophesizing his unhappy life. In this panicked mental situation, he asked to Raven whether there is anything good wait for him in this life. It seems his feeling of grief and loss. The replies nevermore. He doesn't want anything to do with the answer that the bird has given. He continues to yell at the bird to leave, and the raven simply replies with nevermore. The whole poem, the speaker is consumed by his own emotions. He pleads for his feeling of intense grief and loss to take the sharp pain away that he is feeling, and of course, as the reader knows for certain by now, the answer is nevermore. The speaker ends this poem by saying that the raven is still there, sitting of Pallas Raven's shadow on the floor, that the shadow has trapped the speaker's soul within it, and he will never be freed from the memories of his beloved and his loss and grief. In this poem, have a lot of reference on Raven. First one, when we look on the Hindu mythology, Raven has a typical role in life cycle. The belief is that the raven will be the rebirth of a human being, and this raven will always roam around his dear ones of last birth. Second reference. According to Hebrew folklore, Noah sends a white raven to check condition while on the ark. But he doesn't return the news that the flood waters are beginning to dissipate. It is punished by being turned black and forced to feed on corn forever. Then, third reference. Ovid's Metamorphosis. Raven also begins as white before Apollo punishes it by turning it black for unfaithfulness. Raven's role as a messenger in Poe's poems may draw from those stories. Okay, friends, I think all of you get some idea about the raven from this video. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.